This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm JP.
And Ben is at the preserve. So we won't be hearing his lovely voice. So with that being said, here's our social store _disc_golf, night_owl_pod. And then doordisc.com, where you can find all your disc golf needs and discs.
Well, I think that would be a need for disc golf.
But most disc golfers
have all the discs they need.
Yeah.
I suppose.
So, but we have all the other stuff that you need.
Yeah.
And then discs.
Yeah.
Which you want. And buy a lot of, hopefully. So, with that being said, my big question for you, JP, is have you ever tried to do this life-changing thing in your life? Like where you're like, okay, Monday morning I'm waking up and from this day forward I'm doing X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And you like just want to like, you're just going to say work. Yeah. I'm going to go make money and pay my bills.
Yeah. No, it's funny because like, that's one thing though. Like there's a point because I started working when I was 13 where my parents were like, yeah, it's time to get a summer job. And you're like, what's that? And they're like, here, we're going to drop you off. You're going to go wash dishes. And that's how it goes. But no, I had gotten out of like the routine of working out. And I'm like, hey, starting this day, I'm going to start doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
From that point on. It lasted for a while. And then kind of fallen out of, as life got busy, you kind of,
Why? You die so often on this thing. Oh, there it goes.
Super. And then, you know, there's things that get in the way and you're like, oh, I got to find time to like, or you have to rearrange your schedule and it doesn't work out, like that kind of thing. Or
Yep. Or it's like, you know, those best laid intentions. You're like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden you're like, I was going to do that. Okay, this Monday.
Yeah.
Like you keep pushing it.
Keep pushing it back. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm at that point right now because I've never had issues with phone battery, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to move so I make sure I get up every morning at the same time. And that's been working. No problem. Like now I'm like a clock. I'm up. But I put my phone on the other side. So instead of laying in bed watching my phone, like I just get that personal time to just relax and reflect and then go to sleep, you know, instead of stimulating myself until I sleep. Mm-hmm. So I took my little charging stand and put it over on my dresser, which is all the way across the room.
Yeah. Well, it forces you to get up and have to like go and turn it off.
Right. Yeah. Get up and actually turn the alarm off. So the side effect is that I still just take my phone into the bed with me and then I put it on the nightstand.
Okay.
Not charging. So when I get up in the morning at like 5 o'clock to pee or something like that, I'll go put it back on the nightstand or put it back on the charger as I'm walking by. I'll just throw it on the charger. And then I only have like 20% the entire day. Like it's one of those deals where I find like places to plug it in. I've never been that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had to plug in stuff before. And so now, my good intentions of moving it across the room and being very like disciplined about putting my phone down and like just going to sleep instead of playing with my phone. Yeah. No.
Oh.
So I have perpetually low battery now.
Perpetually.
And it's like, it's stressful. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing. Cause I make fun of my daughter for like she's like, I only have 20% left. And I'm like, so?
We'll just switch it to low power mode.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's stressful. It's weird. It's this weird thing. Like I've never been like, oh my goodness, I only have 10%. I got to find a charger for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, there's nights where I don't think about it and like I will be on my phone and I'll set it down and I'll wake up. I'm like, oh, I've got 20%, but like it's early enough where I can get like a decent charge.
Right.
And get it. And then I'm also in the car all day so I can plug it into my car and charge it if I need to.
Yeah. And see with my life and work and, you know, I'm rarely sitting in front of a charger. Like I'm rarely static in one place long enough to actually get any substantial type of charge. But
just buy a battery pack.
You know, Sandy has 2 of those things. And I always forget about them. If you hear noise in the background, it's my children enjoying the July 4th.
You know what's crazy is like we were just sitting up here and I couldn't hear them outside. And now all of a sudden the microphones are picking them up. Like, what the heck?
It's nuts. Yeah. Because we have one of those above ground pools and just got it set up. And we had went to the restaurant because my wife really wanted to go to a restaurant. We went to a restaurant, came back, and they're like, can we go swim, Dad? I was like, you got to be quiet because I got the podcast coming up. Yeah, they're not quiet. They're in the pool, and it's summer. So, all right. Well, that's what I was curious about. And the other thing that I fail at every Monday is when I start my diets every Monday.
Start your diet so you're restarting a different
diet every Monday because I never do it. I'm like, I'll do it again Monday. And then I don't make the diet and I was like, I'll try again Monday.
Does this include like meal prep and all that? And...
No, if I do meal prep, I do it pretty well.
Okay.
But the issue with the meal prep is that we're very diligent about sitting down with family for eating. And I always feel weird pulling my little black tray of stuff, like my chicken and rice. And so it's my excuse to try it again Monday.
Okay. It's going to be hard this week as well with 4th of July. It's like, hey, Monday. And then Tuesday it's 4th of July. And you're like, all right, we're going to grill out a ton of stuff and like go wild and
go get a bunch of fruit because all that is healthy when you eat like an entire watermelon yourself. Have you ever eaten so much watermelon that you sit there and you're just like, I feel like I'm going to explode?
I don't know. Yeah. But watermelon's one of those things where it's like, it's water. So mostly, so it's just like, you can eat a ton of it and not like feel bad. But at the same time, it's like, oh God, like, I have too much. And like you said.
Last year, we'd buy watermelon or take it from the restaurant and we'd cut it up and cube it. And I would just put it in one of those big, bowls in the refrigerator. And the kids would just grab it whenever they wanted. And at the end of the night, usually there was probably like half of the bowl left. And I'd be like, this is a healthier snack than ice cream, right? So I would sit down and just basically like chow this stuff with like tahini and a drink of soda or something like that or something sparkly.
Yeah.
And it would physically hurt my stomach. Like,
oh, God.
Because you get like all the fizzly bubblies and then you get all the water from the watermelon.
Yeah.
It was like you drink a gallon of water,
I don't know how high in sugars watermelon is, but if you're eating a ton of it, I can't imagine it being good.
It's horrible. I'm sure of it. Yeah, I'm sure of it. I always wonder why I can't lose weight. But with that being said, is that a good snack for the disc golf course? Watermelon?
Well, if you got to keep hydrated, I think it would be a decent snack.
Sure. Have you ever been able to eat watermelon without getting it everywhere?
No. Absolutely not. Even if you cut it in cubes, you're still getting it all over the place.
But I would rather have watermelon juice than the alternative juices that get on the discs. Like after you urinate.
Yeah, okay. I was like, orange juice, what's really sticky like that you get on your hands, like sap, like that?
No. Well, just think about it. So I have this philosophy on the disc golf course, and I try to enlighten everybody that I possibly can. Try not to touch other people's discs because you're essentially touching their D.
Yeah.
Because anytime someone is out on the disc golf course and they pee, they're touching themselves, right?
Yeah.
They are not washing their hands. They're walking over and picking up a disc.
I keep hand sanitizer in my bag.
But do you really use it after you pee?
Not every time.
Exactly.
I'm just one of those guys, like unzips and hey, hands above the head. Like,
that would be a really awkward way to pee.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. We had a full discussion about this one time on the course.
Did we have it on the course?
It was a league round. Bjorn brought it up.
Yes. It was berries in or berries out. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
At Wildberry Field.
Yes. Yeah. So have a discussion with your friends. We're not going to talk about it on here because we do have some younger listeners. But when you urinate on the course, is it berries in or berries out? Just a good question. Mm-hmm. Or even just when you urinate, is it berries in or berries out?
Oh, boy.
Did we ever decide which you were berries in or berries out?
I think I was in.
You think?
I don't. Both? Like, I don't.
Oh, you're just like one in, one out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, when Ben's not here, it gets way off track. But I think that's pretty fun, though.
That's fine.
So, with that being said, with your berries, so throw your flipper. What'd you buy?
What did I buy? Oh, I used up the rest of my money that I had from turning stuff in, and I got a CD1 and a Lab Second D5. Like, it was really lightweight that I wanted to check out. And then,
bless you. D5?
D5.
Okay.
Defy. Defy. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Because you're like, D5 is like Lab Second D5. I didn't know Prodigy.
Doesn't that sound crazy? Yeah. No, Defy. Yeah, sorry. And then I got 2 of the special edition watts.
Okay.
MVP watts that just came out.
Very nice. I know. I saw you pull them out. I was like, ooh, those are nice on the thing. So I bought a Jonathan Fuse. Hi, I'm a Fuse.
Yeah.
I bought one. Well, I didn't buy it yet, but I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
I've held it like 35 times. And
Held
then
it 35 times.
Oh my goodness. So I have this firm belief that I would rather have a customer have it than me.
Yeah, yeah.
And so anything like that comes in like super beautiful. I'm not the guy that's going to pull the most beautiful one out of the stack for myself. Like I leave it in the stack for whoever wants to buy it. I'll usually buy the ugly one. And with those Jonathan Fuses, I'm just like, people are going to love these. And Jonathan's such like, he just hit 1 million subscribers. Like he has a lot of fans. So I was like, all right, let me, I'll just leave them here. And every time I go in, I'm like, oh, I should grab one. But I'm not going to throw it. That's the thing. I just want one.
Yeah.
But the Hex may be coming out of my bag again in place of the EMAC because of the Lucid Ice Orbit EMAX.
Do you feel like the Hex got too much hype within a short amount of time?
No, I think it's still a very good disc. I just think I tried to make a move when it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
I think that was my thing. But if we want to talk about hype train, yes. I think the Hex and the Glitch are two discs. We bring them in, they immediately go out. And in all honesty, there's nothing special about the Hex. And the Glitch is novelty. It's not a useful disc. I mean, reality. If there is someone out there that can prove to me that it's a useful disc in some way, shape, or form, besides Simon, of course, because
it's crazy. I haven't talked to anybody that's like, oh, I gotta throw this for my up shots, or I gotta throw it for this or that.
Yeah.
And I have one. I think it's fun to throw. But am I gonna throw it in the bag and use it every round? No, I'm not.
It's a very utilitarian. No, not even utilitarian. Because I was gonna try to compare it to the Comet, but it's not. I mean,
no. It's a unique disc on its own.
Yeah. It's the shots that you would use it for are very specific. The people that will utilize it the best are the people that are just coming into the sport.
Yeah.
And are used to ultimates. Because it's a familiar hand feel. Not the same flight by any means, but a very familiar hand feel.
Well, I know Tyler Frickman was talking about getting one for Ashley because and it was going to be one of those easy discs to help with form and all that. So I can definitely see someone new to the sport getting into it because it's in one speed and super glidey, understable. I think that's great. Funny enough too, I think you guys got them in the store. Beatles.
Yes. No, we have here Bites now.
Bites, that's what it is. Yeah. That's what I think. Beatles, another good disc, but the Bites. Joe and Kevin were going to go play a bite only round, I think, and they invited me along to do that too. And I was like, I would
love to play a glitch only round. I'd love to play a bite only round. I'm trying to think like a meteor only round, like just these really like fairly, or like a Lima armadillo round.
Yeah,
like just like discs that you would never honestly play with, but
Superdil,
Superdil, exactly. Condor.
Yeah.
Although there was a guy that bagged 3 of them that I used to play with in MA1. Condors.
Okay.
Like straight up condors. He had 3 of them, and then he also bagged a Sonic, and then just standard disc from there. But he had his 3 condors and then a Sonic.
I want to talk to Matt more about the Sonic because he loves it. Matt Yadis?
Yes.
And I'm just curious, like, is it strictly up shots for him or what it is? Because
I've seen him throw it, and he can throw it very well. So we were on, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Sandy Knoll, but it would be like just coming back into the woods like 15 or 14, 13 maybe. But you come back into the woods, and we were playing short pads. This was maybe been like 3 or 4 years ago. It was like when he first started playing, and we were playing a lot together for some reason.
Just MA1?
Just MA1, Just happened to be on the same card quite a bit. And he was throwing the Sonic, and I loved watching him throw the Sonic because he threw it so well. And he could keep it so straight. And it made me want to buy a Sonic. So I bought a Sonic, and I threw a Sonic. I cannot throw a Sonic like the way he throws a Sonic. I mean, he can put full power on it. Like, I don't know if he still can or not, but I know when I was watching him, he convinced me that I needed a Sonic. So, but Yeah, I don't even know where that Sonic. I might have just left it where it went one day. It might have been one of those things.
This disc isn't useful for me. Somebody else will find it and hopefully enjoy it.
Yep. All right, sir. Why do you suck, JP?
Oh, what is it this week?
Yeah, exactly. Just file through your Rolodex.
Yeah, like do this week. Just kind of like pulling out a random question. Yeah. I don't know if I have anything disc golf related because I haven't done anything disc golf related really in a while.
Let's talk about your personal life then. What makes you suck outside of disc golf?
Oh, I haven't mowed the lawn. I haven't done the dishes. I haven't
given my wife a back rub.
Yeah. No, today, I mean, it's very busy up here in Fourth of July with traffic and everything. And Dempsey, this is purely a parenting thing. Dempsey wanted to go on a bike ride with a bunch of his friends because they were all meeting up at someone's house and everything. And I got kind of mad at me because I was like, dude, you got to wear a helmet. Like, just, he's like, no, Dad, no one else does. So it's like, wear your helmet. And he's like, but I'm a concerned parent because, like, he told me where his friend's house is. The road that they're on is one of the busier roads, like, in our area.
Right.
He was going down to, like, the mobile station down by the old Shopco to get, like, snacks and stuff. So I just wanted him to be safe. And, like, I don't suck because, like, I want to be cautious, but I suck because, like,
you're not a cool dad.
Right. Yeah. That. And, like, I was never that way. Like, I never rode with a helmet when I was younger. My parents never worried, like, where I was going at all. They just were like, okay, yeah, go, be home by when it's dark or, but that Door County has changed a lot since I was young. So,
yeah. Well, it's changed a lot just in the 14 years I've been here, 15 years I've been here. But our childhood was so much different, especially with biking, than it was. Like, I only wore, because of the NBL, you had to race. That was the only time I ever wore a helmet. And I usually rented one at the track. Like, I never owned a helmet. I would just rent one at the track. No, I lied. I had a helmet towards the end. But yeah, that was the only time I ever wore a helmet. I will not get on a bike without a helmet now.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
Same.
Like, it's just weird. Like, when I was in college, I did this quick stint with single speeds where I would ride them quite a bit. And I don't know if I ever wore a helmet either. Actually, I know I never wore a helmet because I remember this one old dude. Every time I'd see him, we'd cross paths because, like, we just hit the thing at the same time. And every time he would, like, stand up, like, he would let go of the handlebars and he would go like this and, like, tap the top of his head.
Yeah.
Like, where's your helmet? And I'm like, shut up. I'm cool. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for telling me why you suck outside of disc golf.
Yeah.
All right. Are we going to move on?
Why do you suck?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, boy.
Well, I think the biggest reason I suck right now, lack of playing, of course. And I think it's just simply due to time, family, events. But when I do play, I think the reason I suck right now is because I have such a revolving bag at the present moment.
Yeah.
There's a few things that just will never move out of my bag, but those few things are becoming fewer and fewer.
Yeah.
I used to be so locked in and there was nothing I was changing, but I'm not confident with anything over a 9-speed, except for my lariats, And then even, like, my 7s and 6s, like, I used to just pick up an FD and, like, no problem whatsoever. No, and then we get into mids and I'm, like, jumping between the Hex and the EMAC and going back and forth. And I don't know. I think it's just I need to stick with what I knew and just go from there. And then once I get my power and my, range back, if I start playing more consistently, then I can work into those 10s and 12s.
Yeah.
10, 11, and 12s again. But right now, the Grace is where it's there. And, the Grace is so inconsistent for me as a flyer because I guess I just don't have a consistent enough power. Sometimes I get into them and they're great and then they just roll over. And then sometimes I'm, like, throwing them nose up and they just fade out like they're enforcers. It's weird. Same disc. So that's why I suck. There you go.
Sorry to bring it up.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to cry about it. All right. With all that being said, I did double book myself this weekend. I had a mountain bike race and the flex start this weekend. So
there's a flex start this weekend?
Oh, next weekend. Well, not like this coming weekend.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, the flex start this weekend. And as a TD. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm bailing on the mountain bike race, which kind of sucks because it would have been my first one since like 2003 or 4.
Oh, wow.
So it would have been fun. All right. So here is the recap or the intro or the what?
Nothing.
Overview?
Yeah, I guess.
What's the word?
You usually say preview.
Here's the preview, the show preview.
Yeah,
Since
right.
we haven't only been going for 20 minutes yet. So we're going to do a quick Preserve recap and thoughts on the course. We'll talk about the rally, the FPO rally that happened at the Preserve. We'll do a little recap on the Swedish Open. And then if there's anything else that kind of makes our frog leap, we'll talk about that. And then we'll have a random question and then shop updates. So famous last words, here we go. Might be a short episode.
It's a recurring thing we always say. Might be.
And an hour later. All right. So with that being said, Preserve recap. So I'll start by saying I think the course is shaping up to be something super special.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The first year, I wasn't impressed. The second year, I was becoming more, liking it. There were holes that were memorable. Mm-hmm. But now you're starting to see stuff like when you turn it on, you're like, oh, that's Preserve. That's Preserve. There's so many iconic holes that are now becoming so recognizable for the Preserve. And I think this year with some of the changes, even more so.
Yeah.
Even more so.
Yeah.
So good job, Kale. Like I think I really hope from what I'm hearing the rumblings that there's some financial trouble there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just talking to Ben because he was just talking about with his question coming up later. I was like, oh, yeah. And then I said, did you go to the pub? Because Kale, when he bought the thing, I think it was the second year, he ended up buying the clubhouse area, and he opened up the pub restaurant. And then that's where the pro shop was as well, I think. Mm-hmm. And Ben's like, yeah, there's signs up all over it right now saying Kale sold it.
Yeah.
Sold it off. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of, I'd be a bummer if anything were to actually happen to the course.
Yeah, I agree. But, that industry is, I'll just talk about the restaurant portion, clubhouse. I mean, that industry is a finicky industry. Mm-hmm. First of all, there's not a lot of money in disc golf. So to have a disc golf pro shop, you'll do okay. And then Heartland turned on. You'll do okay. And then I got to stop and say this. I have a TV up here in the studio, the office, that every single time it is turned on, the Heartland is on. Like that show Heartland.
Yeah.
Every single time.
What channel is that?
I have no clue. I have zero clue.
It's so weird.
It's just on a Samsung. Like it just comes up as Heartland every single time, like this farming show or whatever.
Ranch show.
Yeah, it's like a ranching show or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's strange. So, but with that being said, I think Kale with, buying that, I think there was really good intentions. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot behind the scenes in the hospitality industry in general, but especially in the restaurant industry, and too. And it's gotten even worse since you have been in it. First of all,
I've been out for a while.
Yeah, finding competent, trustworthy individuals is very hard for new places. Like established places, I mean, we've had the same staff for so long. It's amazing. We have such good, and that will change at one point, of course, as people move on. But it's hard to find a good staff. It's hard to keep your margins low enough to actually make money in restaurants. I mean, to watch your products, make sure nothing's going out the back door, make sure you're not wasting anything, make sure you're pricing everything properly. And then also watching it from week to week, like things can change up to 30% in their prices. I mean, probably even more than that. I've seen things double. Like I've seen eggs go from $11 a case to $50 a case.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a very hard thing. And if you're a touring pro and you're not there overseeing that stuff, and especially liquor, like, holy moly, there's a lot to be lost. There's a lot to be gained in liquor, but man, there's a lot to be lost in liquor.
Right.
Real quick.
Yep. So especially if you're not using the auto, I know a lot of places have started using the automatic pour where because a lot of bartenders would just count, and that's the quickest way to lose. Like,
absolutely. There's very few bartenders. I mean, there are bartenders out there that can do that. I'm sure there's plenty, and we know some people around here that are just phenomenal at that type of stuff. But there's also this old school mentality that, like, the bartender, like, you treat me right, I'll treat you right. We'll give you some stuff. Like, well, that's just pushing money out the back door, So if you're not there to oversee and supervise and create the atmosphere that says that that's not okay and still build your customer base, like, it's a hard job. And I think when you sit back and you say, yeah, restaurants are a good business to buy. Yep, absolutely. But you got to be involved.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's where Cale may have bitten off more than he could chew. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe his intention was just to buy it and turn it into a clubhouse,
Maybe.
So who knows? But all speculation. I know nothing about what he actually had planned or what he actually did. But I do know that he doesn't own it anymore, and I really hope that he doesn't lose the entire course with everything being said. So with that, do you want to go over the winners and losers, or just the winners, or whatever you want to go over?
Sure. Hold on just a moment. I had it. Yeah. Okay, we'll start with FBO. So the winner was Katrina Allen, and she shot 20 down. She beat Kristen Tatar by 3. And then Holland Hanley finished in 3rd. Missy Gannon in 4th. Kat Murch and Ella Hansen tied for... along with Missy Gannon, tied for 4th. And then Paige came in 7th, tied with Haley King. And then Valerie Mandajano and Jen Allen rounded out the top 10.
And a lot of drops this weekend, too. Like, Carolyn Henderson dropped, and Oliva. Didn't she drop? No, not Oliva. Maria Oliva, I think, dropped, and there were quite a few.
I think Kona had to drop out.
Kona did as well.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So.
Kona, I think, got heat stroke or something like that, or severe dehydration.
Wow.
Where she wasn't feeling good on the course. She was trying to make it. She had an Instagram story. She was trying to make it to the women's rally, which we'll talk about, and she got there within like 5 minutes, and then after that, I think she tried to play a practice round or something and just felt or whatever. Whenever ended up not feeling well. So I mean from what Ben said, most days it was like mid 80s. I think today it got up into the 90s.
Wow.
There. Yeah.
Wow.
So he said he was seeking shade, quite a bit just to stay out of the sun.
Yeah.
So if weren't staying hydrated,
right,
I probably had it pretty tough.
And especially if you're from this area. That's hot. I know a lot of you guys in like Arizona, California, Texas, like you're like, that's nothing. But like, it's hot for us up here.
I mean, and like in our area, when it gets hot, but it's also humid.
Yes.
That's the other thing.
You can't sweat.
Yeah.
You can't. Or the sweat doesn't evaporate off your body, so you don't cool yourself as quickly. Yeah, it's hot, man. It's hot. And I was born in San Bernardino, California, like raised in the desert. Like, so I know what hot is. I mean, we had like heat days. They would cancel school because it was like 130 degrees. So I know what hot is, man. But like when it gets like in the 90s and humid up here, it sucks.
Yeah,
it
very
sucks.
much so. So Katrina won wire to wire. Took it down. I think we all, like collectively, the three of us, our picks were pretty good this week.
Yeah, they weren't too bad.
No, I think
too bad.
We all took Kristen to win. And then I had Katrina second. I think you took Holland for something.
I took Holland for third.
Okay. And then
I believe I had
I think I had Ella Hansen for something. And then I forgot who else Ben had.
She was my wild horse.
Yeah.
Ella was my wild horse, and then I had Haley King as second, if I remember right.
Oh, okay.
So but I didn't write it down, so
usually I do. I was gonna go back and listen. I'd be like, we were doing stuff. I was like, I'm not gonna go back and listen to the episode today. But yeah, we all had fairly decent picks. And then MPO, we had Ricky Wysocki winning it with 37 down, beating Cole Rodalin by 5, and tied with Calvin Heimberg for second.
But only beating him after a 15 down on the last day to jump up quite a few
And that's
spots.
what Ricky shot the first round.
Right.
And everybody, so final round, lead card did not play well.
No.
They did. James Conrad was throwing shots out of bounds. Even Ricky had some shots go out of bounds. Calvin putted terrible. 50% from C1X.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was lucky he was, within a couple of shots of Ricky, ended up falling back. Cole jumped him. Eagle had jumped him at one point. Garrett Gerthy had jumped him at one point, I believe. And he's lucky enough to make a comeback. And Eagle actually had a chance within the last 3 holes. I think he had to go birdie Eagle on 18, which is one of the easiest holes on the whole tour. And he ended up parring 17. And I think he did Eagle 18, so he ended up at 32 down. But Ricky, by that time, Ricky was on like hole, I want to say 13 or 14, and he just was able to finish it out.
Jeez.
So
well, and Eagle was what, 39th going into the day or something like that?
Yeah, it was crazy. He jumped 9 spots. Am I looking at that right? He jumped 9 spots today. He was in 13th.
Oh, I thought he was like way down in 30th or something like that.
Cole Rodallen jumped 11 spots. We were just going through this before. Someone had jumped up. Chandler Kramer jumped up 20 spots to 12. That was a big jump. Someone had jumped up 65 that I saw earlier, and I forgot who it was.
65 spots, whoever that was. Jeez.
Or maybe it was Chandler Kramer that did it. Am I looking at the right?
Was Brodog playing?
I didn't hear about him a whole ton.
Yeah, so he must. Yeah, he did, because he took that. He had like a Instagram short or a YouTube short where he was throwing a medicine ball in the air with a shirt off, and he was talking about preparing for the preserve.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I do have to say, he looks ripped right now.
Was it he and Ezra just being like bros? And
No. Just him throwing a medicine ball up in the air, doing his workouts.
Interesting.
Like, yeah.
I guess Ben said Nathan Queen got a ace on hole 11.
Oh, yeah, he did say that.
And then there was a woman from the tour, and she was mad that nobody caught it on camera.
Get a camera there.
Right. Well, she was mad but I think she was hoping that someone in the gallery would have caught footage of it, and no one had shot it.
Yeah.
Because he said he was just hanging out there because that was one of the better places with shade.
Yeah.
And, so she's like, oh, what the heck? Oh, well.
That's
funny.
funny.
I'm not seeing. And then he said I think he was following around Nate Sexton for a while too. But Brody Smith, 84th.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How is he so hot and cold? Like,
crazy. I know.
And this is a course that's not that out of his. I mean, it still has bomber shots. It's not very punishing OB wise. I mean, there are some holes that are, but
yeah,
man, that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's apart from like holes 5, 6, maybe a couple others, it's pretty wide open.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are some challenging water shots, because I saw a number of people land in like one of the ponds. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk about the fun stuff now?
It's fun.
So, yeah. So this is, I think it kind of goes on the Natalie tracker, because they did talk with her directly, or talk about her, and saying that this is not directed at her, but it's more trying to protect the division. But there was a rally protest of sorts that went on before the preserve that was live streamed by 3 or 4 people that Door Disc Golf follows, I noticed. But Brody was one that live streamed it. Oh, yeah, so Brody was there for sure.
Yeah.
Brody live streamed it, and then Katrina live streamed it. Holcomb did.
Yeah.
There was quite a few people that live streamed it. But basically what it was a collection of, I would probably say, 30 people?
Yeah, something like that.
30 people, maybe the majority of them, good 2/3 of them were female. And then the other remainder was MPO players.
Yeah.
And of all, so could be aged pros, could be, who knows. But basically led by Sarah Holcomb and Katrina Allen. And they basically stood up and said that they don't agree with transgender athletes competing on FPO. So, and quite a few people got up, like Jen Allen got up and spoke about it. And, I think a lot of folks they were very emotional about it. Like Sarah Holcomb was very much, tried to be very analytical and point out the facts. But everybody else was just more about feelings and how things were happening and how they felt the history of what they have gone through is now being under fire again. So,
but it's not like they didn't how am I trying to put it? There was no ill will.
No, not at all. Not
towards any specific person or anything like that. They were just coming out, like you said, and expressing their feelings about the situation.
Right.
They weren't saying whether it was right or wrong, that it was very...
Well, I mean, they were definitely making it clear that they disagreed with it, but...
It's one of those no-win situations in a way. So...
I think, a few of them came from a place of historical value where this is what we used to have to do just to play with women. And now we finally get to play with women, and now the men are coming back in to take over. And that was kind of where Jen Allen was coming from, where she used to have to travel everywhere just to have some sort of competitive advantage. And then she decided, and then, it's gotten better, and now she's competing against men again, and I think referring to the transgender athletes. And she didn't say she's competing against men again. She just said, now we're back to the advantages that biological males have that I have to compete against again. So understand where she's coming from. And then the DD player, why can't I think of her name? Phenomenal player when she plays. She's black.
Rebecca
Cox. So she came up and she talked about like the hardships of being, black, and then also about how, the struggle she has as a woman, and now she has to try to protect those in the one place she felt like she was, safe. And, so there's a lot of those. And I was listening to it, like thinking, they're all very valid from where they're coming from. But in the same regard, Natalie Ryan feels very valid in where she's coming from as well, So it's one of those things that they've made a choice. The legal system has kind of circumvented that choice. Whether it was legal or not, there's still that injunction.
Yes.
And they haven't decided whether it was legal or not legal for them to do it. But what they did is they just basically served a restraining order to say she's playing until further notice, until something's figured out.
Yeah. And this was like, one of those kind of last minute things too, like the OTB was, but there was precedent in Minnesota because there was a transgender weightlifter. That
Olympic lifter
had won a case there. And so I think we talked about this real early when like the whole Natalie thing happened before the season started as well. And Natalie played and she finished at, what we say, 14th
or something
like that. And then on her Instagram, she said, it was nice to play. A lot of the outside stuff kind of weighed down on her from maybe, not playing as well as she could. She did, I think the last couple tournaments, you look at her record, she's won.
Oh, and like, handedly. Handedly.
Right. Like, she's cashed or won in every tournament she's played in 8 years. And so as an athlete seeing that, I might feel, as a female athlete, I would probably feel a little threatened in that way,
Yeah.
But it's surprising to me that, so OTB happened weeks ago, like months ago. When that news was handed down of her filing that injunction then, why didn't they have a rally then? Why now?
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, you could have it at any stop where this would happen. You just voice your opinion.
Right.
And even Katrina.
Well, this is the first pro tour event that this has happened on, that she's been able to play on since OTB.
Right. Like she played the first round and then the other injunction was filed and took her off. So she was able to play the entire tour. But they didn't know that was going to happen. They didn't know that another injunction wouldn't be filed against her.
Right. And that was also still like they didn't know she was playing until the day before.
Yeah.
And then she was not playing that. And I think it was either Holcomb or Katrina Allen that made the statement that we've been trying to stay quiet and behind the scenes and work, for, I think they said like 4 years they've been trying to, did they say 4?
I don't know.
Whoever it was. There was a certain amount of time that I was like, wow, this has been going on for a while then. But I know that those two are kind of the ringleaders of, I don't want to call them ringleaders. That gives a bad name.
Well, they kind of just spearheaded it.
Right. Yeah, they're the leaders. They're the leaders of it.
And then even Katrina, after she won, Brian Earhart kind of questioned her, why the emotion after the win and all that. And she did reference the rally and what it meant to her to actually be able to have a voice and actually come out and speak her truth the way she put it.
Right.
You know, and vent or, you know, voice her opinion.
Right.
And finally have that chance.
And I respect the fact that I can't, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen anything that has been truly had any true animosity in it from either side.
No, not that I've seen. It's always people from the outside pushing
exactly
into the sport.
Yeah.
Nobody's clearly come out and said, "Oh, this is," until, you know, this rally, which still isn't confrontational, but it's always people from both sides coming into the sport, you know, voicing their opinions and bringing that animosity.
And I think that's even something that, like, Natalie Bryan referenced something, but I think we brought it up here, that I was disappointed in the way that she approached, like, hecklers or something like that.
Yes.
Where she called them. I don't remember what she called them.
Someone at a tournament came out and, like,
said something.
Yeah,
and then
during play.
Yeah, like, he said, I forgot what we said to her. Anyways, so Natalie decided to go ahead and, you know, kind of retaliate through Instagram. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's I appreciate the. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is very interesting. You know, in the back end, I love reading about it. I love, you know, when that happened, I was like, because I hate lives.
Yeah.
But I saw like 3 or 4 of them come up at once, and I'm like, okay, there's something going on. So I clicked on one, and I saw Katrina Allen talking, and I was like, well, what's she saying? So I like turned up the volume, and I'm like, oh, she's talking about like Natalie. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, ooh, I got to. So I watched the whole entire thing.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes long.
It was long. Yeah. It was long because I was laying across my bed. I'm like, wonder what this is. And then, but yeah, it was. I mean, I enjoy it because I love seeing where both sides are coming from, where it's going, and what the future holds, and, you know, the validity between both sides, and, you know, the emotion that's on both sides. Like, it's just interesting. You know, I think it's a historical thing that we're going through right now. Whether you agree with one side or the other side, there's still a big part of history that's happening right now.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's going to define disc golf for the years to come.
I think it's going to more than that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's going to define athletics. I mean, I don't think disc golf will define athletics, but I think this is a broader scope of things that's going to set a precedent. So we'll see. I mean, I'm interested. I hope it continues to stay civil-ish, you know, because it's within legal parameters right now, but nobody's doing anything illegal at this point.
Yeah.
So, or harmful. So keep it peaceful and have that conflict, and I look forward to more of it. Mm-hmm. So at least it gives us something to talk about.
It does. I don't, like, we always say, oh, it's a we just keep beat that dead horse. It's like, it's almost to the glue factory.
Yeah, it might be. We might be gluing the horse back together to beat it some more. We're making a mache horse right now. All right. You want to talk about Swedish Open real quick? The only thing I want to talk about is that Paul Macbeth won.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing I have to say. I'm not waking up early in the morning to watch it at all. No. But
and their live coverage is a million times better than the US, and their green screens are phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Have you watched it yet? Any of it all?
I haven't.
Dude,
I haven't been able to see any of the Euro.
Oh, so I thought you haven't. Their green screen and their coverage is, so let's say their coverage is quality-wise, let's give a percentage, like 30% better than the United States.
Okay.
Their green screen and their talking heads.
Yeah.
There's not even a percentage in the realm of.
Oh.
It gets so much better.
Wow. Okay.
So much better. You know, I mean, it's kind of corny and hokey the way they do it, because they have like a green screen desk and a green screen backdrop, and the guys wear like suits.
That's what I don't like about the Tournament Central is when after the tournament, like when I watched last week when Kristen had won at Des Moines, and the guy's sitting there and they got the green screen like he's at the tournament. Just have somebody at the tournament sit down with her. Exactly. Have a couple folding chairs, have a couple microphones set up, and just have a sit down conversation with her.
Exactly.
That's super easy. I just think it's something, because even after that, they're interviewing players. You know, they've got the DGPT backdrop and someone's there. There's no difference between having that guy on the screen interviewing her and on a computer, then it's
exactly.
Bleh.
I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. Is it a try hard thing? Is it instead of letting disc golf be what disc golf is, we're trying to make it something that it's not?
Kind of.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I know
why can't we be basketball? Like, I'm serious. Like, why can't we have like, or dodgeball? Remember when, what's the dude's name? The announcer,
Cotton and Jason Bateman's guy.
Jason Bateman. Yeah. Like, who cares if that guy's there?
Yeah.
I mean,
or is that what Jomez is? A little bit.
No, because they were doing it live.
Yeah.
F&A, Cotton, F&A. Like,
yeah.
I feel like, so who cares?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever watched cornhole?
Not a lot. I just see highlights here and there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just dudes, just bros, like talking. Like pickleball, kind of the same way, just like dudes and bros talking. Mm-hmm. Like, why not? Like, I mean, I know there's a call for professionalism, and maybe I've changed my mind or my rhetoric since we've started this podcast. Speaking of, it's been a long time. We were over a year and a half now, aren't we?
Yeah.
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 Pretty cool. Anyway, so I don't know. Like, let it be what it is. Don't force it to be stuff.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, because like even Jordan this morning in one of the chats, he's like, man, watching this, but he's like, I just can't go through. Like, he's like, I can't just make it through a whole round with some of these people. I'm like, I just turned down the sound.
I can't handle. I've been complaining about it for years.
Yeah. And I think,
I don't know if he was technically talking about the announcers or just the straight quality of it.
I think that it could have been both.
Yeah.
But I said, I just turn down the sound and I just watch. Mm-hmm. Just watch the throws. And what's great about even watching NFL games or, like regionally, if you don't like the announcers, you can always turn on the radio and there's like your local broadcast where you can listen to the people that you want to broadcast.
I thought about that today, and I don't know where it came from, but I was like, man, I just don't have time to sit down and watch this. And there's no way that I can just listen to audio and get the effect. Mm-hmm. Where are broadcasters out there? Like, there has to be someone out there that's willing to do that.
It'd be great if they could just have somebody follow, because a pod tracker like we have is easily portable.
Right.
And they kind of did that when there was the skins match with Paul, like Germ and those guys were walking around the course and they had a battery pack and microphones and were able to walk around the course.
Yep.
If they had a separate almost podcast or live radio feed of people going around doing that, I don't know how much battery power or radio power you need.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
But I mean, there's so many different broadcasting things, apps that on the phone. I mean, you can even just walk around and hold your phone and talk.
Yeah.
Or even put, like, we have those lapel mics that they're fantastic, the quality. Like, I'm sure there's ways to do it. And I would tune into something like that. Like, if it was being live streamed on Spotify or something like that, I don't know. Yeah, you can live stream on Spotify.
Yeah, you can.
Like, if we live stream on Spotify, like, I'd be all over listening to that. Mm-hmm. And maybe there is guys out there doing it, but I don't know. But all I'd want to know is the lead cards. Like, follow the FPO, follow the MPO. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know the rest of it.
Sure. They can just give you broad, just be like, okay, here's what happened earlier in the day. Here's what's happening in front of them on the chase card. And then here's what we got for
and here's who's surging. Like, that's it. That's all I need to know. And just give me some color. Like, give me some play-by-play. I don't need color. Just give me play-by-play. Like, oh, he's on the 18th tee, teed off, hit the center of the fairway. That's it. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Like, just let me have that. And then you can fill in, of course, but I just need, like, just give me something that I can listen to instead of watching, because the hardest thing about live coverage is the 4 hours worth of sitting and dedicating myself to a screen. Like, it's just not possible for me, and I don't think there's many people it's possible for.
I've tried doing it in the car where I have the live coverage on and I'll turn off the video and just try to listen to it in the car. And I don't know if it's enjoyable enough, but there's times where there's kind of dead air,
right?
Where you're waiting for them to say something, or players addressing their lie, and they're like, oh, "Okay, here's what's going on." You can't see it; they're trying to describe it, but they don't describe it quite well enough.
Exactly.
So that's a difficulty.
Yeah, and I could see that, and I think that's some of the stuff. Like, it's all positioning too. I mean.
Yeah, how do you judge, like, how far someone is down the fairway?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, and it's also one of those things, like, it's perspective too. Like, I remember for the longest time when we would go out and play, we would be like, oh yeah, like it's probably like a 25-footer. And it ended up being like a 40-footer. Like our perspective was just so far off.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, I can hit this one. It's only like a 30-footer.
But it's easier now because at tournaments they have, the little spurs in the ground. You're like, oh, this is circle 1, circle 2. When we're out playing, we don't have those markers.
You're right.
In a casual round or a league or whatever, we're just judging it based on what we think it is. Like we actually have markers out there right now that can help us.
Well, and that does make sense. I mean, if you are walking around and doing something pretty diligently, and how hard would it be just to, like I said, just to carry some sort of phone or microphone around and live stream? And I know there's cell phone connectivity issues.
Yeah.
But even if it's something like, I mean, how hard is it to upload that audio? I mean, what does it take us or take you? I don't want to take claim for uploading the audio, but what does it take, like 20 minutes to get this thing up and going when it's like this?
Right. Yeah. When I edit it down and get it uploaded, with our description and everything. Yeah. Around 20 minutes.
Right. So let's say for 50. A full 18, like it'll take a bit longer, but let's say maximum of an hour. Like from the time MPO, like you get that.
Yeah. That's an interesting question.
Or could you upload it like a quarter at a time, like 5 holes at a time or 8 holes at a time? I don't know, 9 holes at a time.
Depends on the quality of the audio. That's one thing. Depends on your internet connectivity for sure, because there's that audio has to be compressed and everything. Yeah. Who's to say?
Yeah.
But
because I know Terry used to do some of that stuff back in the day. He would carry around like a Wi-Fi, a hotspot, and then his phone and just do like coverage that way.
Okay.
I wonder. I'd have to ask him. Maybe like reach out to him and just ask him why no one does that. Because I would be all over that. That would be something I would subscribe to, and I don't know if I wouldn't pay money for it, but it would definitely be something that I would put on my subscribe list.
Seems like something PDGA Radio could do.
Yeah.
Or some like those guys. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, because they don't really do much. I don't see much coming out from them very often during this time of year.
No.
Off season, it seems like they do pretty well. And he has a good voice for that too.
Yeah.
He does a very good job with that. And he was an old radio broadcaster, I think. So, yeah. So, anyways, so there you go. But Paul Macbeth won. He is not washed up, so I take it back.
Maybe lightly washed. Like,
yeah.
Or maybe just thrown in the spin cycle a little while.
Like the 80s stonewashed, not quite like...
Light fade.
Yeah, exactly. Like just to the right point. Yeah.
And then you're like, these don't quite, they're a little tight. They don't quite fit right. That kind of thing.
He's like that pair of jeans that is at the end of its use, but like you still want to wear them a couple more times because they're kind of comfy,
Yeah. Like I can still get some mileage out of these.
Yeah.
And then after you're done with them, you cut them into jean shorts. And you're like, yeah, these are great.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. As long as a little booty hangs out the back, right? Oh, man. That would be so bad to see me in cut-off jeans. Like if I did like the old school, like late 80s like late 70s, early 80s cut-off jeans. Like,
yeah.
Man, my hairy stump sticking out.
That's what my dad would wear when he works out in the yard. When he would do work in the yard, he'd have like the short cut-off jeans. Like, I'm like almost embarrassed to be outside with you right now.
I know. Because, and it was always like, so my dad was never like a collared shirt guy.
Yeah.
But if he was outside in those freaking shirts, he would have a button-up shirt on, his sleeves rolled up, and like it completely wide open. So it's like hairy chest sticking out. Well, actually, he wasn't very hairy, but he'd have his chest sticking out and then like his stump sticking out the bottom of it. And you're just like, he didn't have a stump. He has a full leg, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was just so bad. And he was so proud of himself too, because he's like, man, I get so much more use out of these. Like, the pants go out, cut the legs off. Now I got shorts for another couple months.
Right.
Jeepers creepers. Like, I know we didn't have money, but we had enough money to buy some more like Wranglers. I mean,
right. What was funny too is my dad would cut them short enough where the pockets would hang out of the shorts.
Yes. We'll talk about berries. So my dad was infamously a no underwear guy. He was commando through and through. Like, if he was any more commando, he would have painted his face, type commando. And if he put his leg up wrong on a table or something like that, you were seeing berries.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
It was bad. So,
oh, boy.
Oh, man. Rest his soul, I guess. And his berries. So, is that kind of morbid, I bet?
A little bit.
That's all right. It's my dad. I was there for him, so. All right. Random question.
Let's
hear it.
Yeah, Ben gave us a good random question. Well, pretty good random question. Let me just bring it up real quick. Oh, it was, what is the best state fair food? Ben said he had a giant turkey leg at the preserve, which made him think of this.
Okay. I am a fan of giant turkey legs. Mm-hmm. But the best state fair food I have ever had in my life. And it's not like, it's nothing, it's funnel cake.
That's what, it's classic. That's what I was going to say too. I like deep fried Oreos or deep fried Snickers or something like that. But funnel cake's just a classic thing that there's always cotton candy too. And but I feel like cotton candy you can get pretty easily anywhere. Even funnel cakes, sometimes you see people make them and it's easy enough to make.
Yeah. Funnel cake or elephant ears, they're the same batter. It's just one's swirly and the other's a big mitt.
Yeah,
but either of those things are
powdered sugar on top of it, or you drizzle chocolate or peanut butter, whatever it is. I don't know
if it was the fair here or if it was. I don't remember where it would have been. I think it was here, but it was a caramel apple, elephant ear.
Oh,
so they did the elephant ear,
okay,
and then they did sliced apple. So they put it through one of those slicer things. And then they put the apples out, and then they drizzled caramel on it, and then powdered sugar, and then just hand it to you on a plate. It was phenomenal.
Ooh,
it was so good because you get to eat the apples too, which was cool. But man, it was my mouth was watering for that one.
I haven't had one, but people have said deep fried Twinkies are great. And I feel like that would
Twinkies are great.
Yeah,
deep fried, of course.
I feel like that's too much batter. The batter along with the sponge cake would just be too much. Kind of cakiness or that.
I don't know. Tempura batter is not super
no,
thick.
It's not.
I don't know. I see. If there was video to this, you could see. I don't turn down food.
Right.
And it's I don't know. I've tried. So I've had deep fried Oreos. Mm-hmm. Not impressed. I've had deep fried Snickers. Not impressed. I've never had a Twinkie. I would love to try a Twinkie.
Yeah.
But I just love Twinkies, so I would love to try a cosmic brownie, a deep fried cosmic brownie.
Cosmic brownie.
Yeah, those are the brownies that you buy, Little Debbie brownies that have the little colored sprinkles on them.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. No nuts.
No, I'm not a fan of nuts either.
No nuts on those.
I just want a fudge brownie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with nuts on them, but I would much rather not have nuts on them. And the best thing I've ever had. Well, there's two things that I really, really, really enjoy. I don't know if they're fair food technically, but I think one of them is for sure. It was called Indian fry bread, but it's just a savory elephant ear basically.
Okay.
And they put pinto beans and jalapenos and sour cream and lettuce, tomato, salsa, all on the thing. And then you get a meat or protein on it. It's really good. And then, geez, my mouth is watering. This is crazy. And then the other one that I really, 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 really liked is fried ice cream.
Oh, okay.
Where they have a cornflake and honey outer area.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a fair food or not. Or
I don't know, but I know.
Mexican food.
Yeah, I was going to say Mexican food because I've gotten it at a Chi-Chi's or something like that.
Yes.
They do it at a lot of other Mexican restaurants, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I also like a fresh warm churro.
Oh, man. So I grew up in Miami. I spent 2 years in Miami, 3 years. And at the end of our street, right on Bird Road in Miami, we had a churro guy, fresh churros. Oh, I hated him. I loved them.
Right, but you hate that he had to be down the street and it was so easy to get to it.
Well, and the problem was it wasn't the ease because he was there every day.
Yeah.
And we knew he was going to be there. It was the fact that I never had money for it. And I would dig. So at the time we lived in a duplex. We lived in the front side of a duplex and we had 4 grown adults besides my stepmom and my dad in this 2-bedroom place.
Yeah.
And me. So there was 5, 6, 7 people living in this 1,200 square foot home or 1,200 square. No, it wasn't even that big. I don't remember how big it was. But every day I would come home and that churro guy would be sitting there and I would dig through as much of the change that was sitting on the table and like in the couches, and like I'd pull together $2, and the churros were like, you'd get 2 of them in a bag, like just covered with all kinds of stuff. And then he started filling them too. Ooh. Oh, so good. This is why I'm fat. This is why I'm fat. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, shop updates, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
I hope you like that, Ben. Now I want to go eat something.
Yeah, I didn't have dinner before I came. So
we did. I had like a little Neapolitan pizza, like a little margarita pizza. It was pretty good. All right, shop update. So we did get in all of our DD stuff. So there is some really fantastic looking stuff on the site. I did put in an order for hexes and glitches because we were waiting for custom stamps to come through, and then something fell through the cracks. Either I messed up something, or they're just so busy they haven't gotten back to me yet. But I wanted to do a 3-foil stamp.
Yeah.
And just haven't heard anything back yet. So I just went ahead and ordered some glitches and hexes because they're like 8 weeks out for a custom stamp.
It's not in season almost.
Well, yeah, exactly. I know. I want to get it while the sun's shining. And then I will be putting in another order through Trilogy for a custom stamp. So Door County door disc golf stamp. So nice. Those are the things. And then I think that's it. And then I got to get some baskets. And that's it, because we're out of baskets in the shop, and some guy wants to buy like 9 of them, and then we have no more mini baskets, and like it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll get all those things going, and so you'll see those up. And we do have 50% off the Prodigy chalk bags right now.
Like the climber chalk bags? Got it.
So we're selling them basically at our cost right now. We bought 10 of them when we first opened the shop.
Yeah.
When we very first opened the shop. I've given 2 of them away in like raffle prizes, things like that. And then I sold 1. So we have 7 left. Oh, boy. So jump on there, grab those things. It's not that it's Prodigy, it's that it's Climber's chalk and there's a big bag. Like, what do you do with it? It's a very awkward thing. Like, I've seen Nico use them. Yeah. That's the only person I've ever seen use that type of chalk.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? I was trying to use my new door disc whale sack, and I was like, oh, the chalk just isn't coming out of it so easy right away. I mean, that's kind of how it is with all whale sacks, but it's just like, I'm like trying to slam it, like, do everything to just, whatever I can do to get the chalk out. But I do appreciate them.
Yeah. So with those, I found that like, and this is for the non-visuals, which is everybody. Ooh, wow. Which is everybody right now. Yeah. So, you ever play with Play-Doh and make a snake?
Yes, absolutely.
That's how the best way is, like, rub your hands together between the thing. That's how it gets going. And it's funny because once it gets going, they're beautiful. Yeah. But you're right. They're hard to get going.
Well, because at first I thought they had changed because I was feeling it and I was trying to do the rubbing thing and I was feeling the bag. And it felt like a sport sack to me more than it felt like chalk. You know, like a sport sack, you just like,
something to dry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is so weird compared to the other ones. So I thought maybe they had changed a little bit, but I did start seeing a little bit of chalk come flying out. So
yeah, it'll go. I have one that's almost like completely depleted. The one that I've actually been able to hang on to from the other 75 that I've lost, but the one that I've been able to hang on to, and it's like it's like a deflated balloon now. Like there's barely anything left, but it's still working. So, but yeah. All right. And with all that being said, is there anything else, sir?
Nope.
All right. Well, be honest. I was going to try to say something inspirational, but I don't want to.
Interracial or inspirational?
It was going to be
It sounded really
inspirational.
Oh yeah, inspirational.
Oh yeah. Did I say interracial?
I thought that's what it sounded like.
Is that a word?
I don't think so. We could look it up in a little bit.
We can just make it a word.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say something interracial. And I hope you guys, here's my interracial thought.
Okay.
Deuces in the toilet. Does that work?
Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
Deuces. Peace out. Keep us subpar. Anything else?
Nope.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.